Hey you all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. This video is going to be all about how to determine whether you have an olive skin tone. So if you suspect that you might be olive, or if that just sounds interesting to you, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first sign that you may have an olive undertone may be the very reason you clicked on this video, and that is you simply cannot figure out your undertone. Olive can be a really tricky undertone to identify and work with. Undertones such as golden, red, and neutral peach can be pretty easy to identify. So if you're really struggling to figure out what you are, then you might be olive just because it's a little bit trickier to identify. The next one might be the most confusing but most kind of important clue, and that is that you feel like you're warm undertoned, but none of the rules for warm undertones apply to you. A lot of people say to go ahead and look at your veins, and if they're blue, you're cool, and if they're green, you're warm. That does work. However, if you're olive, you might literally see yellow in your skin, but still have blue or teal veins. Similarly, you might see gold and yellow in your skin, but then when you wear gold jewelry, you kind of feel like it washes you out. Now, if you're olive and you kind of see this yellow in your skin, so you might think you're warm and go to wear warm colored clothing, such as an orange shirt or anything rusty colored or yellow based, then you might be thinking, this just makes me look more yellow. I will explain at the end of the video why that happens, but for now, let's just say that's a pretty good sign that you might be olive. The next clue kind of piggybacks off of the last clue, and that is that pink and nude lipsticks are really difficult for you. It's really hard to find a nude that looks pretty on you or makes you look vibrant without washing you out, and you might be going back and forth oh, well, this nude's too dark, or well, this nude's too light, but then you realize it really has nothing to do with how dark or light the nude is and everything to do with the undertone. Specifically, nudes can either look way too peach or way too pink on you. In the case of pink lipsticks, it's okay, well, I have blue veins, so maybe that means a cool pink is gonna look good on me. But a light pink with a blue undertone might look fabulous on somebody who's a cool red-based skin tone, but on a cool olive skin tone, it just looks too pink, you know? I can't explain it exactly, but that's another really good sign that you might have olive skin. Now, the next clue refers to another thing that I see on undertone quizzes a lot, in addition to the vein thing, and that is that if you tan easily, you're warm, and if you burn easily, you're cool. Now, olive people tend to tan easily. I tan very easily. I'm Greek. Greek people tan easily. We come from the beach. But I don't turn red when I tan, even though I don't have a golden undertone. I actually turn more grayish brown olive. I just turn more olive. If you tan, but you don't tan golden, you tan more grayish brown, you might have an olive undertone. The next clue is that you have naturally more black hair or a more gray-based brown hair, or that black makes you look vibrant. For example, I feel like dark black hair is more of a statement against a pale pink undertoned person. I feel like in that case, it definitely starts to look a little bit more reminiscent of Morticia Addams, let's say. But when an olive person colors their hair black, it tends to just look like it belongs there instead of making more of a statement. So if you feel like looking at yourself, you're warm because you see yellow in your skin, but then there's no warmth in your hair really, or a very cool toned hair color tends to look good on you, then you might have olive skin. The next one is if you have green or hazel eyes. So if you have a cool undertone, which we've identified with the veins and the hair color and how we tan, but your eyes have a little bit of warmth in them, a little bit of green hazel going on, then you might be olive. Now, the last one is kind of weird, but it's if shimmers don't really pop on your skin easily. And I mean this for eyeshadows as well as highlights that have maybe a champagne hue to them. I always thought that it it was because the highlight color wasn't light enough for me. However, I would put the same color on somebody else who was either lighter than me or a similar level of depth to me in skin, and it would pop on them so beautifully. A great example of this for me personally was Mary Luminizer, and also anything that was translucent with a gold shift. Now duochromes have come a long way and they're more intense, but anything with like that softer duochrome gold sheen just would not show up on my skin tone. And I believe this is because the yellow in your surface tones kind of blends in with that gold or champagne reflect, and also the blue and green in your skin kind of eats up any sort of like warm pigment. A lot of YouTubers, when they're talking about makeup, often mention how silver eyeshadows aren't their favorite, or how silver kind of looks really harsh on the face because it's not a natural skin tone. I would say that that is pretty true for most skin tones other than olive. Silvery toned eyeshadows, even silvery toned highlights for the face, are really going to pop in a beautiful way against an olive skin tone. So that was the last clue or piece of evidence for identifying one's olive undertone. And now I'm going to give a brief explanation as to why it's so tricky and why we need these like complicated clues to figure it out. So olive undertones are green undertones. Green is blue and yellow mixed together. So we oftentimes, as olive folk, have yellow surface tones. Surface tones are not the same as undertones. Undertones are the base of your skin, and surface tones are things that jump out on the surface of your skin. Other examples of surface tones might be redness from blemishes, redness from rosacea, or just naturally rosy cheeks. So it can be a little bit complex, and you don't need to like go berserk just like thinking about all of these things. Really, like if all of these clues apply to you and you find that certain colors look good on you that are consistent with like my olive skin advice, then like wear those colors. That's like the whole point of doing exercises like this. But for those of you who kind of need to understand the theory behind it, I'm letting you know that we do have yellow surface tones, and that's why it can be so confusing. But we do have blue in our undertones, so a lot of olive people look really great in blues or mauves, or for red lipstick, a blue-based red tends to look a lot better. So things that lean too warm can actually enhance the warmth in the surface tone, making us look sallow and yellow in a way that does not look natural. If we want to pay attention to color theory when dressing ourselves and adorning our faces with color cosmetics, we want to cohere with our undertones, so choose colors that have the same undertone or that are appropriate, quote unquote, for our undertone. And then we want to minimize surface tones. So for olive folks, avoiding yellow-based things and going for more blue-based things actually accomplishes both of those things. If I had lipstick here for the entire video, I don't apologize. So that is it for this video on how to determine whether you have olive skin. Please comment down below and let me know like if you had any sort of aha moment during this video, or if you're like, okay, well I definitely don't have olive skin, like that's also useful. Otherwise, I really hope that you'll subscribe if you have not already. I'm a makeup artist who really likes to talk about like these nitty-gritty theoretical topics as well as skincare. I am a licensed esthetician as well. So I hope to see you back. I hope that you have a great day. Okay, bye.